Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG. We're back today to talk about Innistrad, or technically Shadows over Innistrad Remastered for Magic Gathering Arena. So, still pretty cool stuff, and this is going to be a lot of interesting things that are going to help um, probably intensify the playground inside of Magic Gathering Arena as they try to figure out how to get stuff into the set so it's more like Mono and more like real Magic, even though they keep changing it. Anyway, whatever. Don't forget to subscribe before we get started. Trying to get to 1,000 people. So here we go, straight from Blake Rasmussen's slides today. We have some of the cards that are being spoiled. We have Uldric, the Lunarch Marshal, Thalia, Heretic Guitar, not too bad. You can see here the set symbol looks almost like Shadows over Innistrad with a little bit of weird stuff on the sides. So here are two of the cards that will be in the remastered set. Also, we'll have our finally we will have Archangel Avacyn in the set, which is pretty good. This is the old flip card. If you don't remember, this thing was a house in Standard when it first came out. So I don't think it's going to do a whole lot Standard-wise because it's not legal and not seeing a lot of play. But for you guys playing Brawl and what have you, hey, there's your Angel decks. He also spoiled. We have Anguish Unmaking. I could have swore this was already in there somewhere, but anyway. We also get Fevered Visions, red, blue, and 1. This is a great one enchantment at the beginning of each player's end step. That player draws a card. If the player is your opponent and has 4 or more cards in hand, it deals 2 damage to them. It's almost like Howling Mind, but kind of, sort of better. Anyway, we finally get the good old Olivia mobilized for war. This is a hot card for Modern, and it's really interesting they're going to put this into Arena. So, yeah. Moving on, next we have Cryptolith Rite, which I don't understand why this needs to be in there. Eldritch Evolution and Tireless Tracker. Now these two have become Tireless Tracker first became a staple in Modern for its ability to draw cards off of lands coming in play and what have you, and still a minimum of at least a 1 of in most decks just to have a good creature at 3 that gets you some card advantage. Eldritch Evolution, good card. It's really starting to see some ham play in those combo decks, replacing Birthing Pods and other effects. Not terrible, not great, but does see play, so it's kind of interesting to see that get put in there. Next, the Hannover Garrison and Battlements will be in the house. I don't think this is going to do a whole lot. It wasn't that great, to be honest with you, when it was in Standard, let alone the older formats. I don't think it's ever sees play. I mean, maybe this is something you might want in your Brawl deck, but, I mean, you need 2 cards, and, I mean, you can't give stuff haste, but taps for colorless. I mean, but it is a Shadows kind of rememberable, stapleable card, so, yeah, whatever. Next, we have the Tree of Perdition and Trescadecaphobia, which is being scared of 13. These are fine cards, I guess, but they're really niche. I mean, it's nice to have them in there, but they've never really done a whole lot. Tree of Perdition is pretty good just because you could swap life totals with it. And if you're below 13, 13 life is fine. If you make this thing really tough, and God knows how big you're going to get. But anyway, interesting cards. I don't see a lot of impact from these, but hey, I mean, it is on flavor. So, next we have Mausoleum Wanderer. So the Spirit decks and Mono Blue and Flyer decks have been looking for something like this for a while. This is a great card as a 1/1 blue flyer. Nice to see, and definitely was a staple and not just Standard, but the also older formats. So this is a welcome addition. Now, into the interesting part. So, in Innistrad Remastered, they're going to have, the packs are going to have a special slot, or what they would consider a sheet, where you can and maybe will get special older cards that aren't playable, per se, in the draft where you would draft these, but they are playable in places like Explorer and Pioneer. which before they didn't have those cards. So this will be an interesting addition to kind of shape the format very similar to what we actually see for Pioneer currently. So some of those cards in the sheet, we're going to have a Doom Traveler. It's okay. Faithless Looting, amazing ad. Absence Pilgrim, I think this is okay, but these are just commons. Don't worry, there's some doozies a coming. So, like for example, we have the Falconwrath Astrocrat, red, black, and 2 for a 4/1 flying haste. Sacrifice a creature, it's indestructible. If the sacrificed creature is a human, you can put a +1/+1 counter on it. Very interesting and good card. We have the Lich, black, blue, and 3 for a 4/4. You may cast target creature card in your graveyard this turn. When you cast it this turn, the Lich gains all activated abilities of that card till the end of the turn. Very interesting. And the reason why this is interesting is, yes, it's 5 mana. Yes, it's a 4/4. It's okay. But it doesn't say when the creature dies to exile it. You literally can just keep casting things out of your graveyard, which is very, very broken in some cases. So, with that said, some other doozies that are going to be in there. Lingering Souls is coming to Arena. So that's right, the white and 2 to create 2/1/1 spirit tokens with a flashback of a black and 1. Modern staple for a very long time. Kind of fell out of favor, but is definitely going to be a doozy in a limited format like Arena where not all the cards have access. And then, moving on, we have the Mayor of Aberbrook. Not the best thing in the world, but it is on flavor. I mean, it's from original Innistrad, so it's a thing. I'm glad it's in there. It would kind of probably feel weird if it wasn't. It was a really big card when Innistrad first came out, so I am happy to see it. Next we have, that's right, the Grizz Daddy or Brand Daddy or your mom. No, so Grizzlebrand is going to be in this packs so that you can actually get Grizzlebrand to play it in Pioneer. I mean, if you didn't know, 7 mana for a 7/7 flying lifelink, pay 7, draw 7 cards is amazing. Drawback to this: A, going to be hard to get. B, if you didn't know or you've been under a rock, Atraxa Grand Unifier from New Phyrexia has actually taken the place of this card because it's just better. You've seen all over Modern and Legacy. This card is slowly being phased out for the Atraxa, which is kind of sad because I never thought I would see Grizzlebrand get power creeped out of the format. It's just insane. For those of you who don't know what Grand Unifier does, it's a black, blue, white, and a green for 3. It's a 7/7 angel with flying, Vigi, death, touch, and lifelink. But the big thing about it, when it comes into play, you get to reveal top 10 cards of your library. For each card type, you may put a card of that type from among the revealed cards in your hand, put the rest in the bottom in a random order. And it just makes shenanigans go nuts. And you just Goryo's Vengeance over and over. And yeah, I might go over the deck later in Modern. It's disgusting. But yeah, so Grizzlebrand will be on Arena, but so's Atraxa, so it's kind of not really a thing anymore, sadly. But anyway, moving on. Next we have, that's right, we're getting Snapcaster Mage on Magic Arena. Oh, is that sexy. We're even getting the old art too. This is my favorite art. This thing is amazing. It's going to be awesome to see this get played in Pioneer and older formats. Yeah, just amazing that we're getting old Snappy back. So, real happy about that. So that's all the cards. I do want to leave you with one more thing. The sheet that has all these extra cards on it, these are just some of the cards. That sheet, they've said, will change so that the cards you're going to get out of every pack will rotate through different cycles, meaning from Monday to Friday or March to April, whatever. Certain times will only have certain cards, and then those cards will change to a new sheet with new cards. So it'll be interesting to keep track of that and whether or not we can actually just buy these cards with our wild cards. I'm sure we can, but it's going to be interesting to see if they let us or if they try to sneak a little something in there to make us buy these. Wouldn't put it past them, but hey, that's just my opinion. So, with that, guys, thanks a lot for watching. That's your update to Arena and Innistrad Remastered coming to it. We're going to get some pretty sweet cards. We've only seen just a few. It's going to be interesting to see what we come up with. So, Uh, at the end of the day, if you want to support the channel, I do appreciate those who have links in the description below to do it. Don't forget, till next time, be kind. And as always, I hope to see you across from the game table.